Cadet shoved the new female soldier off the roof, then realized she's a combat special forces veteran. Everyone assumed the new girl was fragile. Nobody expected her to fall and rise in the same breath. And when she did, the entire training yard froze. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The sun beat down on Fort Lakeside's training grounds, bright and merciless, as dozens of cadets circled atop the barracks roof. They were supposed to be checking safety lines. Instead, 3 of them had cornered the newcomer, Emily Ward, whose uniform still looked crisp, whose boots hadn't yet collected the dust everyone claimed she hadn't earned. They smirked at her silence, joked that her soft voice would never survive the noise of the field. Then, with a sudden shove meant to humiliate, they pushed her backward off the ledge. Gasps erupted below as Emily dropped. But she didn't hit the ground. In a fluid motion that didn't belong to a rookie, Emily twisted midair, caught the drainage pipe, slid down its length, and landed lightly, knees bending like she'd rehearsed it 1,000 times. Dust lifted around her boots. Her heart thudded once, calm, steady, before she straightened. The crowd murmured. Some whispered. Others stepped closer. No one understood how she hadn't panicked. Emily's thoughts flickered with memories she wished she'd left behind. Nights in desert heat, the heavy breath under a tactical mask, missions she could never talk about. She had come here to start over, to finally be normal, but normal had just been shoved off a roof. Across the yard, Sergeant Hale stormed out of his office, his coffee cup trembling slightly in his grip from the distant commotion. He followed the trail of stunned faces to Emily, who stood in the center like the eye of a storm trying desperately not to spin. "What happened here?" Hale demanded. No one spoke. Moral tension thickened the air. Protect your fellow cadet's mistake, or tell the truth. Emily's pulse tightened, not from fear, but from restraint. She didn't want attention, didn't want to show the part of herself she had buried the moment she left Special Operations. Yet the silence around her made her look complicit. They pushed her. A voice finally said. A young cadet with trembling hands. "We didn't think she'd actually fall." Hale's jaw hardened. "And you thought that was funny." No one laughed now. He turned to Emily. "How did you land like that?" A micro cliffhanger formed in her throat. She hoped she'd never have to explain it. She was wrong. Before she could answer, the 3 responsible cadets climbed down from the roof. Their bravado was gone, replaced by a pale realization. Not because of Hale, because of her. One of them, Carter, swallowed hard. "Ma'am, who are you?" Emily didn't want to say it, but running from her past had nearly cost her present. "I served 8 years in combat special forces," she said quietly. "I didn't come here to show off. I came here to start fresh." The yard fell silent. Even the birds seemed to pause mid-call. Then the unexpected happened. Cadets stepped forward, forming a circle around her, not to corner her this time, but to shield her. Respect shifted through the crowd like a warm wind. Hale nodded once, the tension easing from his shoulders. "You don't need to start over here, Ward," he said. "You need to lead." He ordered Carter and the others to apologize, not out of punishment, but to learn humility. They did, their voices cracking under the weight of their mistake. Emily accepted, not because they deserved it yet, but because she refused to let bitterness define her. By noon, the atmosphere had transformed. Cadets approached her for guidance, for stories, for the quiet confidence she carried like a hidden medal. Emily finally felt something she hadn't in years: belonging. Because courage doesn't disappear, it waits, and it rises when it's needed most. And sometimes, the fall you survive becomes the reason others learn to stand taller. If you enjoyed this story, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more powerful tales, and stay tuned. Your support means the world.